When I touched the object, I felt something. I felt different.
Hello, Master Chief. I'm Cortana.
On something like Halo, there's a big expectation that things look a certain way. We were told that our project was supposed to go back more towards the earlier versions of Halo. And then we had to figure out things specifically that related to the game, where people have certain expectations, what happens in an action scene. You know, there's these first shooter perspective through the HUD of the main character. I made some suggestions about possible using the LF in the larger format, using the signature primes. I made some suggestions about using specific colors for different worlds to set off different cultures, establish a hierarchy within the UNSC, the governing human organization. The lower you go in the architectural organization of the UNSC, and you get to the soldiers' quarters, let's say, the grittier I thought the color palette should be. Whereas when we were further up in the more formal environments, like the big conference room or the big monitor room, I thought a more neutral color palette would be much better. So the signature primes I thought were a great idea for this, and I didn't want to go into a complicated mix of lenses. We needed 3 sets of those for 3 different units, and there were tons of visual effects and post-production. So having lenses that track across the different focal lengths without color changes is really important, I think, for post, and having a certain flexibility in lens sizes as well. When we started thinking about how to light these enormous sets, we easily came to Airy Sky panels, which I'd used in the past a lot. We had great support from Airy Rental in Budapest, and we got hundreds and hundreds of sky panels allocated to different sets. We used other LED lights as well that sometimes are not so easy to integrate in the same software on the dimmer board, but at the end we had Sumo lights from Berlin, and then we added some brick lights to our sets for certain areas to get a punchier top light maybe through little slits. You know, all these spaceships have little vents and openings where light can shine through. When you shoot big action scenes or when you shoot complicated sequences in difficult terrain where you can't move around without four-wheel drive, there it's much easier to get a self-powered base for a big crane. So the hexagon can go off-road, can go sideways, moves quickly from A to B to C. I mean, it's the way to go for off-road shooting with a big techno crane. But, you know, at the end, those things are a lot of times more logistical challenging and mentally challenging. I always say you deal with each shot on its own, but you need to have certain tools at your disposal. And those tools you developed before. And you need the right equipment, that's for sure. You need the people that have done it before, because it's dangerous, you know, it needs a lot of discipline. We had not only the Ronin, we also had the Airy SR3 head and the Maximus head, so 3 remote heads for different shots, you know. And sometimes it's a 100-meter run on a pulley where the camera runs on a little dolly like in a sports cast with that SR3 head on it, and the grip's pulling this pulley system which runs like 3 times back and forth so you get more pull, just to keep up with the stunt guy who goes full speed, you know, and you keep him in the frame.
The Master Chief was enhanced and trained for one purpose: to win this war.
In our Halo, we are telling a dramatic story with a troubled hero who is trying to find his identity. Over the course of the 9 episodes, as Master Chief becomes more aware of his past and his emotions, he has flashbacks. And just thought we should use different lenses for that. That's the only time I went away from the signature primes. I had a long-lasting relationship with Manfred in Munich at Airy Rental, and he was so kind to send me some detuned DNA lenses. I do want to say that Airy Munich has always been a great resource for me. They love building something special just for one thing, and they send it to you. That's always fun, isn't it?
We're all we have now. It's just us.